Good morning. Today is Sunday, November 12th, 2023. You know the old saying, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. We see the world through our individual character and our own experiences. So as you know, I'm the head of a conversion program, the RCA conversion program, Geirut. And since October 7th, the war in Israel, rising anti-Semitism around the world, I've been thinking a lot about Geirus, about conversion to Judaism. Louis Brandeis was a Supreme Court justice, the first Jewish Supreme Court justice. And as a young man, he said, "I'm sorry I was born a Jew because I wish I had the privilege of choosing Judaism on my own." So I want to share with you part of a remarkable article. It was published in Times of Israel a couple of weeks ago, and it's written by Talia Laniado. And she writes, "To be Jewish is to be hunted, haunted, a wanted prisoner, even by one's own neighbor or cousin or perfect stranger. To write and recite psalms in a cave under cover of night. To keep our commandments in secret or in plain sight, dunking in holy water, braiding loaves of bread, basking in candlelight. To be Jewish is to be scapegoated, framed, maimed, criticized, minimized, ostracized, dehumanized, to be a largely unprotected underdog despite standing up for other minorities' rights. To work as hard and as dedicated as others, become successful, and still somehow get the short end of the stick, envied or distrusted. To be Jewish is to be a moving target." So what must it be like to consider or to be in the process of converting to Judaism? Why would anyone choose to be so hated by so many? Now, in our conversion program, in every conversion program, we ask this question formally and informally throughout the process of conversion. We ask this of every single person who comes to us at the first time we meet them. You see what's happening in the world? Why do you want to become part of this group? And when the process is completed, it is being completed, the ceremony at the mikvah, we ask this one last time formally. And we listen very carefully to the answer. Because conversion is not just conversion to the Jewish religion, to a lifestyle of observing mitzvos. You can eat kosher food without being Jewish. You can not drive on Shabbos without being Jewish. Conversion is primarily a transformation of identity to being part of Am Yisrael, the Jewish people. As improbable as that sounds. And what that means is that the history of the Jewish people is your history. The future of the Jewish people is your future. The fate of the Jewish people is your fate. The war in Israel began when Hamas attacked on Shabbos, October 7th. Sunday, October 8th here was Yom Tov, the last day, Simchas Torah. The next day was Monday, October 9th. Every Monday night, we hold our conversion class. What do we say? What do we teach? That night, that Monday night, you may remember, there was a gathering at Federation CJA in Gelber Hall. A powerful, emotional outpouring of grief and strength. We told our students that we were holding class that night, and the class is moved to the Gelber Center. We told our students to attend that event and then to write for us a short essay on what that event means for your conversion journey. Now, I assume that there are people in the world thinking about conversion to Judaism who will hesitate, seeing what's going on in the world today, as they should. There is no mitzvah to convert to Judaism. But for those who are serious, for example, those who are in our program, and I'm sure this is true all over the world, what I see directly is an even stronger commitment to becoming part of Am Yisrael, the Jewish people. I read the beginning of Talia Laniado's article. To be Jewish is to be a moving target. And she continues, and yet we are an ancient people remarkably still alive, despite those who rise to destroy us in every generation, each time with revolutionized weapons and refashioned propaganda. They plot to kill us, and they succeed, and they fail. And we fast, and we feast, forever rotating between mourning and festive clothes. We are perpetually on the run, literally or figuratively, and yet many of us born Jewish still cling to our faith despite our suffering, and some of us, born not Jewish, elect to become one of us. Flaws and disclaimers and all, souls thirsting for knowledge of God, of God's book, and God's people. We are a nation that excels. We excel at being exiled and at being redeemed, being loved and hated. We are paralleled by none in our grit, our stubbornness, our will to fight and to live, to stand up for what's right, to hold faith, conjuring out of seemingly thin air, steady like a defiant fire in a damp and endless winter night, thick with rage and despair. To be a Jew is to dream of receiving the Torah and wake with it in our hands, to revere it and reject it, to absorb its lines and their subtext, to ignore its whispered blessings and warnings. To be a Jew is to hold disbelief and surety simultaneously, to doubt and to know, to wonder and to wander, to get lost, get caught up in our differences, to remember and forget. We forget sometimes who we are, who we were, what led us to this moment, the sacrifices, the miracles, national and personal, that transpired against all odds for us to arrive at this threshold where we now tremble. To be Jewish is to unite, to fight discordance with solidarity. In the face of cruelty, we spread kindness. We offer a hint of humor and a whole lot of food, eager to help, giving with our hearts, our minds, our skills, and our time. We open our doors wide, sitting together under one tent, and remember precisely what we have forgotten. We are family. In the throes of grief, we band together, hand in hand, and empathize and eulogize and harmonize and rise, up we rise, we survive and celebrate life, even as the world around us crumbles. Because how can we give up now? And what choice do we have? In the turbulence of uncertainty, we turn to the only thing we are certain of: God. To be a Jew is the greatest responsibility and privilege a soul could hold. To be one nation, alive. Am Yisrael Chai. My friends, I wish you a good day. We look forward to good news, and I look forward to seeing you all soon in person.